Hello everybody, it's Robert from Canadian Senior in Retirement, and today I'm talking about retiring and what that involves and what it involved for me, and maybe how I can give some pointers to somebody that is heading into retirement, whether it be of their own choice or in my situation where I basically was forced to retire. So, first of all, the thing with retirement when you first start, it's almost like almost like a vacation in the beginning, and you kind of like have all this free time, and you can get up when you want and do just about what you want. And I'd say that lasted for a couple of months, and then the reality sinks in that you no longer have a paycheck, and you now have to figure out what you're going to do for the next 20 years if you're lucky enough to live that long. I'm 60, and I'm hoping to live that long or more, but we don't know. Anyhow, so after that, we'll call 2 to 3 month vacation. The next thing that I found I went through was the what am I going to do thing. So I had to come up with a routine, almost like as if I was working at a job, because if you don't, you can find yourself feeling a little bit down. So you have to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it, and make some kind of a schedule that you can follow each day. Now, the good thing about being retired is you don't necessarily have to follow a schedule, because other than chores around the house, cleaning, and doing little repairs and shopping, you don't have a job to go do. So there's no clock to punch, there's no timesheet to submit. You just basically are on your own merit, which is an interesting way to put it, but that's about it. You're your own boss, and how you spend your time is up to you. But my advice would be that you find things that occupy you. So, an example, I decided to start a YouTube channel, and I started this channel because I'm 60 years old. I worked almost 25 years as a carpenter in the construction industry. I worked almost 25 years in the IT industry, and I know a lot of stuff, I guess you could say. So I plan on passing along a lot of skills that I have via my YouTube channel, whether it be how to properly tape drywall, or how to properly use a saw safely. I also have a lot of stock market experience, so I'm going to make videos about that. And those videos are more of a help for people than a advice, because I'm not selling securities. However, I have learned a lot about the markets in my 25 years or so of dealing with them. So I think there's knowledge to be passed on there. One of the things that I decided to do also was learn how to use my iPad better. I switched from a computer after I retired to an iPad Pro, and I basically got it to a point where I can use that iPad Pro just like a computer. Software is a lot cheaper than if you were buying software to do, say, video editing, doing editing to pictures and photo albums and those types of things are definitely easier. And like I say, the software is a lot cheaper and, in my opinion, a lot better. So, you know, the forced retirement thing, for me, it was because of health. And then what I want to talk about when it comes to that is this. You need to plan when you're young for retirement. And I'm talking 18 years old, someone should start planning for retirement. And the great thing about planning when you're 18 is something called compound interest and dividends. So you figure if you start at 18 years old, and I know that a lot of 18-year-olds don't make a lot of money, and your first job you don't make a lot of money, and you have debt from student loans and whatever the case may be. But if you could take even $20 a week and put it into your TFSA or your RRSP, over time, you invest that in even a great dividend stock like a Canadian bank or a tech company like Shopify or Amazon or Microsoft or Apple. All of these investments over time will not only pay you dividends, except for Amazon at this point and Shopify, but what I'm getting at is that you don't need to do anything for that money to make you money. And that's the whole secret to ending up in retirement with a substantial amount of money. And that's important. Now, I didn't start really planning until I was 38 or 40, so I have retirement money, but probably nowhere near enough what they say you're supposed to have. You know, if you want to start traveling the world and all those sorts of things. And that's fine. I've done okay, and I have no regrets. You know, I've enjoyed my life, and I enjoy it every day. And if I had millions of dollars in my RRSP, that would be great. But at the same time, that's not the most important thing. It's how you get through your days and what you make of your days. And, you know, I had a friend of mine that I knew from high school, had life by the balls. You know, he worked for the school board in Toronto, and unfortunately he got sick and he passed away. And, you know, the man had it made. He had a great job, great pension, had everything going for him, but his health, you know, went for the shitter, and he's gone. So my advice is live every day. Live every day, you know, like there's no tomorrow. Spiritually, as far as, you know, getting up every day and just being happy and trying to make the best of whatever you're given. Like I say, you don't have to be rich to be happy, and you don't have to be rich to live a decent life. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're poor, that's not good, and that it shouldn't be that way in this world. There should be nobody suffering. You know, there's so much wealth that should be shared, in my opinion, in a lot of different ways that wouldn't even affect the people sharing it. You know, we have people like Warren Buffett who are just absolutely great men. He's given away $40 billion. Bill Gates, probably another $40 billion. And don't get me wrong, these people live high on the hog. I mean, they have jets and everything else, but they're also giving back. And I think that's real important. Now, back to the retirement thing. So, the first thing that I had to do when I, figured out that I wasn't going to be working anymore was sitting down and figuring out the best way to go about it. And I'm talking about the best way tax-wise is important. The most important thing is staying out of debt. As you get into your 50s and your 60s, if you can stay out of debt, then if something happens to you like happened to me and you have to retire, you're not going to need a whole stack of money to continue on with your life. And that's where me and my wife and my family are. We don't have hardly any debt at all. We worked hard for that. We live in a reasonable house. We drive a reasonable car. We go on reasonable vacations. We don't do without. But at the same time, we don't spend money just to throw it away. And to me, that is just so important. So, stay out of debt. If you can stay out of debt, you can have control of your life. And in my opinion, having control of my life, that nobody can dictate to me what I'm going to do every day. And when tough times hit, you're not scrambling to, figure out how to keep a roof over your head, how to buy food, pay the bills. This pandemic has thrown a monkey wrench in a lot of people's lives. And some of those people hadn't planned. They figured it was okay to carry a $700,000 mortgage. Or it's okay to, drive a car with a $1,200 lease. But in reality, that's nobody's business. People do what they're going to do, and that's up to them. But when you think about it, you can buy a car with a $400 payment that has air conditioning and power windows and heated seats and all the rest of it. You can buy a beautiful house for $500,000. So you don't need to, buy everything that's better than the neighbor has, or keeping up with the Joneses, I guess they call it, which is, it was totally rampant in the last 10 years since 2008. With interest rates low, people were using their lines of credit as piggy banks and, running up their credit cards. And then they would pay off the credit card with the line of credit and run up the credit card again. So you can't do these things. It's poor planning. That's poor life skills, whatever you want to call it. So I've been retired for a year now, and I've been able to successfully get to a year. And you might laugh when I say that, but it's actually not easy. Not getting up and going to a job takes some getting used to. It takes time to learn, I might say, the new you. The new routines, the many things that comes along with retirement. So I'm into a year. I started this YouTube channel a couple of months ago, and I love it. I love talking to people. and it's almost therapy for me. I have some health issues, but I get up every day and I do what I need to do. I don't let anything get in my way. I have things that I can't do that I used to do, but that's okay too. That's all in the learning curve. So to recap, you know, if you want to retire and not worry and be comfortable, you need to start planning when you're young, and you need to make it continuous. You need to put money away every paycheck, and it can be any amount. It doesn't have to be $1,000 or $100. It can be $10, $20, $15, because compound interest and dividends will do the job for you. Over a 40-year or a 50-year period, if you put $20 a week into an investment, like I said, an index fund that even, you know, follows the whole market, whether it be the TSX or the NASDAQ or the S&P 500, any of those. You buy an index fund that, you know, that works off of those different markets, and you'll eventually have more money than you'll ever need when you get to retirement age. And retirement age isn't necessarily going to be 65 or 70 like a lot of people think, because you just don't know what's going to happen with your health. I can tell you, you know, 60 and I had to retire, and I wasn't necessarily ready, but I'm making the best of it, bringing down the debt that we had. You know, no longer have 3 cars, we have 2. All of these things help. And, you know, you just got to plan. Planning is everything. You got to have a plan. So, anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to the next one. And please subscribe and hit the like button. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks, and have a great day.